Welcome to Golden Ochre's Final Fantasy Guide Chapter 5. In this previous chapter, we defeated Carrie, the second elemental fiend, and found the floater that gave us the airship. In this chapter, we're going to explore the world and get the most exciting upgrade in the game, the class change. Now that we can go anywhere in the world, we're going to focus on the northern area, starting with the 5 Cardian Islands. Starting from the left, just land nearby. Keep in mind, there are enemies on the islands, but not in the caves. Head inside and you'll find a pair of rooms with some gold, cabin, and a dragon that talks about bringing back proof of courage. The next island has 2 entries. The left entrance has no treasure, but the first dragon talks about Bahamut. The other dragons talk about how dragons and humans once coexisted and traded together. Walk over to the next entrance and you'll find yourself walking down a long hallway. The next room is also massive. Notice the candles, they're in the shape of a dragon. I always thought that was kind of cool for some reason. It's clear that we found Bahamut. Talk to him and he'll request proof of your courage and you'll receive some honor. We don't know what we need or where yet, but we've got other islands to hit. The next island is just below and only has 1 spot to land. Go inside, talk to the dragon, and he tells us the Castle of Ordeal is to the northeast, and that is how you can show proof of your courage. Excellent, now we know what's next. 2 more dragons inside the main room speak of a big mechanical castle that existed in the past, and that the proof of courage might be anything. Not helpful, but I'm sure it'll be obvious. Don't forget to snag the treasure before you leave. The mini island has 1 dragon who asks if you've met Bahamut. We've already done this, so this area is kind of pointless. Maybe if you went right to left it would be more helpful. The final island has 2 rooms, so make sure you don't forget that there's one to the left. There's a ton of gold in those chests. The room near the stairs is loaded with gold too. With all the islands visited, let's take a peek at the east and spot that castle. There's actually 3 ways to reach it and none of them are close. First, you could land the airship on the tip of the peninsula, but you'll have to walk quite a bit around. The second and quickest walk on land is to dock your ship at the end of this river. Lastly, you can land in the grass with your ship in this area and walk west. If you didn't get your airship yet but you want to loot the chest early, then the ship is your only way. Also, if you haven't figured out, your ship will only land in grass areas, so no trees, mountains, sand, or the weird speckled green grass for some reason. You should be between levels 14 to 16 at this point. If you're less, no worries. It's a pretty easy dungeon. Just stock up on items as usual and you'll be fine. Enter and talk to the sage and he'll tell you the crown is needed to progress. Oddly enough, it's impossible to reach this area without it. Also, you can ignore him if you want. He'll disappear forever if you talk to him. Step on the throne and you'll be transported. Touching the garbage can looking things will transport you around. The first 2 are obvious. Now choose bottom, then you don't have a choice. Then bottom again. Now follow the path to the next warp. And then the first warp you see. Now you'll see a treasure room worth checking out. Mud gulls protect the chest, but they're no threat. You might even be able to run if you want to. The Zeus gauntlet can't be equipped yet, but you can use it to cast Lightning 2 for free. The Knight, Ninja, and Red Wizard can equip this eventually. Walk out and ignore the warp just below and walk down the path and use the bottom warp which leads you to the staircase out to the next floor. This is the final floor. There is a nightmare encounter just past the door. You can run away from these guys pretty easily if you want. I always hit the chest from the left. Honestly, I don't know if there's an encounter there or not. Just an old habit. The heal staff is a great weapon. It casts a heal spell to all characters. It might not be much, but you'll be able to conserve potions during long dungeons if you dedicate someone to using it instead of doing weak attacks. You can avoid the encounter with the nightmares by walking around that spot. Snag the 3 chests. The gold rings should swap out for any weaker rings for your mages. An extra ice sword is handy but not needed, and the iron gauntlet should be sold. The bottom 4 chests have loot in the house. You should have a nice stock of gold at this point. The last chest has tail. With that "I found a special item" music playing, it's clear that this item is what we came for. Before walking into the throne, you'll encounter 1 or 2 zombie Ds, or zombie dragons. They're not particularly strong, so use fire 3 and harm 3, and you'll wipe them out pretty quickly. Now all we need to do is leave and visit Bahamut. As a reminder, head to the island with 2 caves and walk up to the bottom entry. Talk to Bahamut and he'll give you the honor due true warriors. With a flick of the screen, you'll notice you now have new character walking sprites along with battle sprites. Fighters become knights and gain access to the majority of level 1 to level 3 white magic. Thieves become ninjas and gain level 1 to level 4 black magic. Black belts become masters, but they never gain any magic ability. Red, white, and black mages become wizards. Any characters that didn't cast magic before but now do, you won't be able to unless you level up at least once, and sometimes more if you're an extremely low level. Once you do, you'll see magic points show up in the stats, and then you can head to the first few towns and stock up. Don't forget to pick up Warp Spell in Melmond, at the place we visited before the Earth Cave, and also Exit from Crescent Lake. Now you can either warp back a floor or exit altogether, which is really handy. Finish your shopping and save your game. We're ready to explore the rest of the world, but what's next? If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. It really motivates me to create more videos like this in the future. There's only 2 chapters left and we're done, so I hope to see you in Chapter 6, The Sea Shrine.